Ladies and gentlemen, oh my god, the Hulkbuster Buff Beta is here, and if he goes live like he is in this beta, this champion is going to be so good. I think an easy god tier character, but again, we need to keep in mind this is beta and stuff could change, but the damage ramp up, some of the utility this man has as well. Look at that power drain, boys, on the special too, and then you can spam heavy in the corner for like, you know, what was it, 5-6 heavy, stack up shock. Each shock gives even more damage output there. Cheeky little stun on the special one. Look at this friggin' wombo combo. Oh, Hulkbuster's going off, lads. Hulkbuster is going off. That's like a 300k Colossus nuke down in 45 seconds. What? I never thought I'd see this day. Please let him go live as he is. He's so good. But Seatin, how does he fare against everybody's favourite punching bag, Realm of Legends Winter Soldier? Well, let's have a little bit of a look, shall we? So the goal with Hulkbuster essentially is to get as many shocks as you can on your opponent, because every shock amplifies your attack when you strike in, and you apply shocks when using the heavy attack. So this has the really great synergy with the Special 2 Power Lock and also Power Drain on the Special 2, where you want to try and bang one of those off and then spam heavy in the corner. And the rotation is just so incredibly satisfying. But on top of that stuff, we're going to go over all the abilities and changes to Hulkbuster in a second, but one of the big things is he kind of has this new mechanic where you need to like attack into your opponent's block in order to get the full effect of the special attack. So you kind of got to fake out your opponent and hope they go for the block, which again isn't always going to work. You see we got the power lock there, but we didn't get the power drain, so we're just dodging, trying to build up to that special 2 again. But also every time you use a special attack, if you're paying very close attention, you get a very strong armor break buff here. Because we did unblockable into his block, we got the power lock, so we can just spam heavy attack here, and you can see every single heavy attack, the damage is just going up and up and up as we apply more and more shocks to the opponent. And the shock damage itself isn't absolutely huge, but you know, it's a really nice addition there. So another special 2, look at that, 21k on the first bit, and then we can just spam heavies. It's just a ridiculous combo. It's such a fun and satisfying loop as well, man. But honestly, I never thought that I'd see this kind of performance coming from Hulkbuster, so I really hope they're very satisfied with what's in the beta at the moment, because I do feel like, you know, in comparison to other characters in the game like Ghost, I still feel like even in this buff state, like Hulkbuster, he's not quite above Ghost. But hey, look at that, man. 71 hits on Realm of Legends Winter Soldier. A minute and a bit takedown. Oh, I love it. So now we've seen this absolute titan in action, let's have a look at some of the abilities, man. Because again, we haven't even covered half the stuff when it comes to Hulkbuster. So the first thing is this man has a brand new awakened ability, very similar to like Iron Man's in terms of its theme. So when he's brought below 15% health once per fight, he activates a self-repair buff lasting 12 seconds. However, this buff will be lost if Hulkbuster is stunned, so that's a way to counter it when playing against him. However, this regeneration, you'd see on a 5-star like Sig 200 man, is almost 15,000. I think if you've got like points in the recovery mastery, that's probably like 16-17k regeneration there. It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. And on top of that, also when you're playing Hulkbuster, during this 12-second duration, you pretty much gain 110% additional attack as well. So, you know, we've seen the damage, but we haven't seen the damage when you have, you know, 110% additional attack. So it's just mad. It's just mad, boys. And also, Iron Worn, this is when Hulkbuster is on defense, the regeneration has 45% potency. So this guy, I think, is going to be annoying on stun immune, especially if you're bringing a champion that doesn't have the ability to counter or reverse healing, because that is pretty much close to a full heal there, man. It's really potent. But yeah, it's just mad, mate. It's mad. And then we've got while fighting as an attacker, so he's going to be in his giant buster mode, and this grants the following. So it grants up to an additional 600 attack rating based on how large the opponent is, and also almost 700 attack rating for each shock effect on the opponent. So as we looked at in the gameplay, stacking up shock with your heavy attacks is a really important aspect of Hulkbuster's rotation. So getting your opponent in the corner, just murking those heavies, man, is definitely the way to go there. Also, while fighting as a defender, he enters Iron Wall mode, and and this enhances some of Hulkbuster's defensive abilities. Now, at the start of the fight, and also every 15 seconds, he gains an indefinite armor up buff, granting 370 armor rating. Now, if you're playing Hulkbuster, this goes up to a max of 2, and if you're fighting against him, it goes up to a maximum of 4 there. So you can only get 2 of those armor up buffs, but that's like still enough to get the armor up to counter champions like Havoc, so I think that's still going to be pretty damn decent there. And also, when he's brought below 15%, he gains an indefinite armor up buff, granting the same amount of armor rating, but if in Iron Wall, so if you're fighting him on a node, he gains a second armor up buff as well. So I didn't know if that's like a maximum of 6 there, but I imagine like Mystic champions can absolutely shred through that, I would assume. However, there is some stuff to mess up you a little bit. So when he's fighting non-cosmic champions, for each armor up buff Hulkbuster gains the following benefits. So 900 energy resistance, 87.5 crit damage rating, so it's not really too much there on the crit damage. Also, incoming bleed and poison debuffs suffer minus 25% potency. So I imagine when you're playing him, you can only get a maximum of 50% there, so it's not really like viable mitigation for some of the bigger nodes in this game. But playing against him, man, if he has like too much armor, then you're not going to be able to bleed and poison. And also, enemy attacks suffer minus 20% offensive ability accuracy. And also, enemy attacks suffer minus 137 crit damage rating as well. And on top of that, when struck by critical hits, there is a 60% chance to consume 1 armor up buff to inflict a shock debuff, dealing, I think it's about 60% of his attack, as direct energy damage over 10 seconds. So I imagine you want like armor break champions, shock immune champions are maybe the way to go, but also cosmic champions, because then you don't need to worry about any of this stuff as well. Because I think the minus 20% offensive ability accuracy might make Mystics a little bit annoying unless they have a very aggressive nullify. But I think maybe stuff like Fate Seal or Long Shot is going to work quite well. But in all honesty, man, I'm not too sure until we, you know, fight him and test out a little bit further there. Now, moving down, so heavy attacks have a 100% chance to inflict a shock debuff, dealing, I think this is about 50% of his base attack as direct energy damage over 10 seconds. And special attacks have a 100% chance to inflict an armor break debuff, removing 1 armor up buff and reducing armor rating by 3,150 for 20 seconds. That is unbelievably good. That is such a strong, potent armor break on every single special attack. That is also just like such accessible utility for matchups like Emma Frost, Killmonger. So yeah, I love it, man. I really, really love it. But also there is a 100% chance to gain an unblockable buff lasting 1 second. So basically, you can always land your special attacks as long as you're, you know, within range of the opponent, because you go unblockable as soon as you fire off that special, so you can get through the block there. And that is kind of a core strategy when it does come to both the special 1 and special 2. So the special attack 1 has a 100% chance to stun for 1.5 seconds, but if the opponent's block is broken by the attack, all of Hulkbuster's armor up buffs are consumed to add 1.25 seconds duration to the stun debuff for each armor up effect consumed this way. And also the special 2, if the opponent's block is broken by this attack, all beam attacks have a 100% chance to inflict a power burn, draining 1 bar of power per hit and inflicting direct damage proportional to the power drained. So this, if you land it, man, it's got 3 blasts. It's 100% power drain on the special 2, and also will power lock for 3 seconds after. And you can see, you know, coinciding with the heavy attack and the shocks, your kind of objective when playing Hulkbuster is to get this power drain, have this power lock, and then just spam heavy, man, and get like 6 or 7 of those mashed in, get like 6 or 7 shocks, and then you're dealing massive damage, and you're absolutely laughing there. So yeah, it does require a little bit of RNG, a little bit of skill to pull off, but it's very, very satisfying to do, I'll tell you that, man. Really enjoyable stuff, and big utility as well, man. That's a massive power drain. And also on the special attack 3, you have a 50% of the opponent's current power drain there, so not too bad for getting you out of, you know, a certain scenario where you might not be able to land the special 2 for whatever reason, but also inflicts up to 3 shock debuffs, with each of these having an 80% chance to activate, and these deal about 50% of his base attack as energy damage over 20 seconds, but obviously these are also going to ramp up your base attack as well, so there's a lot more damage off the special 3. But it kind of seems like with the rotation and what I've played so far, like the special attack 2 and then like 6 or 7 heavy attacks seems to be the way to go. But yeah, it's too good a play, man. It's too good a play, and very satisfying as well. But also the unblockable buff triggered by this attack gains a plus 4.5 second duration, so after the special 3 you become unblockable for 5.5 seconds. So I imagine this is actually going to be quite useful for maybe finishing off opponents like Iron Man Infinity War, along with the special 2 and the special 1 unblockable, man. Like, unblockable specials are really nice to have, especially when they hit tremendously hard as well. So yeah, overall he's got loads of great stuff that Hulkbuster does, man. Like a lot of solid damage, a lot of solid utility, solid regeneration as well. On top of that, he's got some new synergies. So the one with Yellow Jacket allows you to convert your armor up buffs into a fury buff lasting for 10 seconds and grants 30% attack. So this is going to be really good for pretty much every matchup except for Havoc when playing this champion, at least to the best of my knowledge. Like, this is a really nice fury to have, and also gives Yellow Jacket plus 65% potency to his power stings. Then we also have one with Hulkbuster, Hulk Classic, and Hulk Ragnarok. So Hulkbuster gains more armor rating based on how low his current health is. Classic Hulk gains immunity to nullify, fate seal, and stagger, and Hulk Ragnarok gains up to 1,000 physical resistance based on how high the crowd meter is. So I don't think like any of these synergies, I can't really think of like many scenarios where they'd be useful. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that one, man. And next up, we have one where Mr. Fantastic and Black Panther. So Hulkbuster, each shock debuff reduces the opponent's offensive ability accuracy during special attacks by 15%. So I can't think of anything right now off the top of my head to use that for, but hey, might have its use in the future, man. Especially considering you can get this close to 100% in some scenarios. But also you can power drain a lot, so I don't really know about that one, man. But yeah, Mr. Fantastic gains 1,000 physical resistance, so again, I don't think that's tremendously useful there. Black Panther gains plus 40% bleed ability accuracy and potency, so that's not too bad for OG Black Panther. Pretty damn good, actually. And then we also have Black Panther Civil War, who gains plus 40% armor up ability accuracy and potency. So I think probably the one that benefits by far the most from the synergy is OG Black Panther. The more I think about that plus 40% bleed ability accuracy and potency, the more I like it, man. I think now it's going to be really good. So we got to test that out as well. And yeah, finally he's got enemies of like Ultron, all of Thanos' army as well. So some cool stuff there for a crit node, and also family with all the Iron Man characters. So overall, it's looking really good so far. Honestly, if he stays like this, this is a solid god tier champion right here, man. I've been really impressed. So hopefully he does. But let's crack on and have a look at one more matchup today against Realm of Legends Captain Marvel. Alright, so one final fight to round off today's first look at the buffed version of Hulkbuster. But let me know in the comments section below, ladies and gentlemen, what kind of gameplay do you want to see from the beta? I'm down to record everything about this new champion over the next few days and really do some cool videos. But yeah, any requests, man, certainly do let me know. So here we've initially got Captain Marvel in the corner. I'm playing Hulkbuster with the Nick Fury Ant-Man and also Yellow Jacket synergy, because again, it's really good because he slots in really well with that team, and we can get the additional Fury for even more firepower. So yeah, it's just an absolute beast mode combo, and you can also be a little bit more cheeky, like throwing in the heavy attacks of this team as well, so it's working out quite nicely. But just that ability to like chain on quick heavy attacks is what I absolutely love. Here we go for a special 2. You can see we penetrate the block, drain 2 bars of power there, man. Honestly, honestly, the power drain on Hulkbuster is just phenomenal. It's so good. Unfortunately, messed up the heavy timing and lost my evade charges and interval to spam heavy there, but even with that, man, you know, she's still going down pretty damn fast. Like, we're 50 hits into the fight now, managed to get a chain heavy. I think we whiffed a little bit there, unfortunately. Another massive power drain, so we're going for heavy attacks here, and this is where we just chain on those heavy attacks for massive devastation. You can see, man, like 5 stacks is like 20k crits on the heavy. Oh my goodness. And like, I'm not using boosters, boys. I got no boosters, I got no suicide masteries on, so yeah, I think we can have a lot of fun with this. But ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy today's video, please do smash that like button, share with your alliance, take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.